Venezuelan women's ministry draws thousands to Christ through social media and community outreach. Spaghetti Church is impacting local communities with food and faith. ADRA's humanitarian efforts in Ukraine remain despite 2 years of ongoing conflict. Pathfinders from Chile break world record in children's bed campaign. Initiative of Sanitarium's Health has a global impact with nutritious foods and transformative treatments. We take a look back at these stories here on this retrospective episode of ANN. Let's kick off this retrospective edition of ANN by revisiting how the women's ministry in Venezuela has reinvented and strengthened itself during challenging times. Committed to shining for Jesus, these women gathered virtually and mobilized to make a difference in their communities. The pandemic brought challenges, but also opened doors for a new kind of evangelism, reaching thousands of lives through social and spiritual initiatives.
When I read in the Bible that we should shine for Jesus, I sense a deep commitment and a great opportunity to go and shine for Him, not alone, but with other women. When the pandemic started and this lockdown began, we reorganized ourselves as Women's Club through social media, so we could reach others for Jesus. In addition to reorganizing, we realized that we had to expand and reach out to the communities with services such as cloths and food, among other special activities. With training and certification of the Inter-American Division, we implement creative Bible workshops for each of the women. With the most basic resources, we started making creative designs while studying the Bible. And in this way, what started very small ended up 1,200 people studying the Word of the God. For the honor of God, today more than 600 people have given their lives to Jesus through baptism.
It's remarkable to see how small actions have led to great results, with over 600 people giving their lives to Christ. This is what happens when the light of Jesus shines through us. Experience the powerful impact of the ministry supporting those battling addiction. Michael Barnes, Advent Health patient, faced hopelessness contemplating life's choice. Through Hope and Healing Center, he found genuine love. Join us as we share his remarkable testimony.
My whole life was nothing but pain. I don't really remember too many happy times as a kid. I don't really remember being happy. I remember doing what I had to do just so I wouldn't get yelled at, so I wouldn't be told that I wasn't good enough. I was always trying to make everybody else happy. I never really got to live the life that I wanted to. I mean, I was around alcohol and drugs as long as I can remember. I caught my mom, I caught my father using as I was growing up. It just became sort of normal. I mean, it was horrible.
When I met Michael, Michael was at his lowest point. He probably weighed about 100 pounds.
I will never forget, he walked in and honestly, he was so sick looking, so pale. I didn't honestly know if he'd make it over the weekend. I
said, look, man, there's two things I want to know. First of all, I want to know if you want to die or not. Because if you want to die, I'm going to leave you alone. I said, but if you want to live, then let me help you. He looks at me. Maybe that's the best thing for me. I mean, can you imagine somebody telling you that dying is the best thing for me? And I remember saying to myself, God, I don't understand. And I remember going up to him, and all I could do was embrace him. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, I love you. Please. It was a moment that made it clear to me that if we don't save him, we're gonna die.
I mean, he'd been beaten down by everybody, but especially himself. He's lost everything in his life and really wanted to get it back.
Haley would have been my second oldest. She ended up passing away whenever I was locked up in prison. She was just like me, which was great and horrible all in the same. But while I was locked up, my wife was, they were going to get something from the store, and she ended up taking off her seatbelt while they were in the car, and they got into a kind of bad accident. I guess she hit her head on the windshield and she never woke up. I never even got to say goodbye. And that's probably something like I'll never forgive myself for. Opiates numbed it all. They made me not hate that person that I saw in the mirror every time I looked in the mirror. Because I couldn't stand the sight of me for a long, long time. My journey into getting clean was about a 3-year ordeal before I finally made it. I went to detox probably a dozen, maybe more times, in and out of rehabs repeatedly. I knew that I wanted it, I just didn't know how to do it. Hope and Healing was the best thing that ever happened to me. The people here at Hope and Healing actually cared about me, actually cared about whether or not I lived or died, even whenever I didn't. And I hadn't had people in my life that actually cared about me as a person instead of me as somebody, as a means to an end. The best thing I can say is like it loved me until I could finally learn to love myself again. Sobriety is everything now. It's my life. For me, it's God, sobriety, and then family. I know that sounds horrible, that my family is not first, but when you're an addict, you have to learn to live a different way. And without those first 2 steps, I won't have a family. God means everything to me. He's the light at the end of the tunnel. He's always been there, even when I didn't want him. He's my mother. He's my father. He's my happiness. I mean, I don't wake up in the morning and I don't go to sleep without talking to him first. Because I have to thank him for every single day that I am here. Because I get to be that father again. I get to be that person that I wanted to be for a long time.
Not many people make it back from where Michael was at. Michael is like a miracle. You know, the fact that he's still alive is a miracle in itself. Because most people who go through what he went through to that extent of addiction, they don't make it back. So when people hear his story, trust me, it is a miracle.
Sometimes we experience a lot of loss, a lot of letdown, a lot of sadness in this field. But if we can save at least one person, then it's worth it.
Because of Hope and Healing, I know that I have a chance again, as long as I can stay clean. I might not be the richest guy in the world, I might not have everything materialistic, but I still feel like the richest man in the world because I have a life again. And without Hope and Healing, none of this would be possible.
With God's grace and specialized care, breaking the cycle of addiction is possible. Testimonies like Michael's show how respect, compassion, and personalized support can lead individuals to healing and a fulfilling, healthy life. You will see now how compassionate care transforms lives affected by homelessness.
Things about service seem to be a driving force within the church, and I can attest to that because literally the first Sabbath, when I got here and I walked through the door, the first person I met was Sister Diva. She was the first person. She says, "Hello, Pastor. Welcome." You know, she kind of told me some basic, orientation things, and then she started telling me, "All right, so this Thursday, we're gonna have our food distribution this week and next week, and we got prep for it." So she was like in the mindset of just letting me know. So I was like, "Oh wow, this is extremely true. This is a church that is dedicated to service," and you could see that basically everything is a 2-day operation where they're gathering, getting all the food. Food bank distributes the food. Wednesday is the big day of setup, and then Thursday is the actual distribution. People can literally just come, take a shower. They also have toiletries that are donated. Clothes are hanging on racks and they're ironed. Just having the best possible presentation so that you feel like you're coming into a store and you're getting, whatever items you need.
This ministry has been going on since as long as I've been in this church. And I've been in this church a little bit over 15 years. It's always been a part of the congregation, functioning to do what the scriptures teaches us to do. To the least of these you've done it to, you've done it unto me. I made a commitment to God, and I've been on board ever since. Makes me a better person, and if nothing else, I'm not here to convince you or to convert you. I'm just here to serve God, and in that, if you see something you like, you gravitate, you draw to that. And when you see that kind of example, you gravitate towards that thing too. You want to do that. I want some of that. I want to do some of that. Especially when you know it ain't no money behind it and you want to do it, you know that's God. I used to be homeless. I was a full-blown drug addict. And that's why I have passion inside of me. I used to be them. And in so many ways I could still be them because I still struggle in different areas. But I know there's a God, a living God. It says love like I love you. Forgive like I forgive you. They're no different from them. So I'm not going to turn my face when I see them. This is what I call truly living God's written word. I have to. Because I'm living my life in vain if I do anything different.
I had a house, apartment, everything, my job. Then I got sick and I lost everything. And went in the streets for 2 years. And then one day a lady talked to me, a church lady, and she says, I can get you some help, Joe. I'm glad I made it out, but my life is good now. The church, they'll help you too, because they know peoples,
Like in real life, if this church is gone, are people just going to keep walking by as normal? Or will they be like, man, they were really doing something out here. And we're really working towards that.
Let's be about it and quit talking about it. And let's do it. Let's make a difference. Really make a difference. Because it used to be me. Then look at me now. I ain't pretty, but I'm faithful.
By choosing to help, we can all make a big difference in our community. 1 year after the earthquake, ADRA continues to provide assistance in Turkey and Syria.
The images still shock and cause commotion. It has been a year since the devastating earthquake hit the eastern region of Turkey and the border with Syria, causing widespread destruction and affecting millions of lives on February 6, 2023. In response, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency mobilized emergency teams to provide immediate assistance. These teams focused on distributing shelters, food, and psychosocial support to the most vulnerable, including children, pregnant women, and the elderly, addressing not only immediate physical needs, but also emotional ones. After the initial relief efforts and 12 months of intense operations in the region, ADRA expanded its operations for long-term reconstruction. This included restoring damaged schools, supporting small businesses, and providing assistance to homeless families. These comprehensive actions aim not only to rebuild physical structures, but also to strengthen affected communities, providing hope and continuous support for a better future. Nala, a single mother of 4 children affected by the catastrophe, saw her life change after being welcomed by ADRA and hired to clean the shelter where they were received. Nala's story, one of finding hope and opportunity through ADRA, exemplifies the positive and transformative impact of this ongoing recovery and reconstruction work based on love and social responsibility. Amid the debris still scattered in heaps, ADRA continues to be a beacon of hope and reconstruction for thousands of lives impacted by the tragedy.
As we've seen, the impact of a disaster can last long after the headlines fade. But so too can the power of human compassion and determination. ADRA's ongoing work reminds us that in the face of overwhelming challenges every act of kindness is a victory. In 2024, Pathfinders supported an initiative that delivers beds to underprivileged children. They raised awareness through a record-breaking feat with the world's largest bed at the Camporee in Chile.
In Chilean, ADRA, Chile, has achieved an extraordinary feat, assembling the world's largest bed, breaking the Guinness World Record with dimensions of 62 x 104 feet. Constructing this monumental bed required 180 mattresses. This nearly 14-ton accomplishment was made possible through the collaboration of ADRA, 6,000 Pathfinders from the 6th National Camporee in Chile, and support from private companies. On the campus of the Adventist University of Chile, they united for a cause beyond records, raising awareness about the urgent need for beds among children and teenagers. It's not just about breaking records. It's part of ADRA Chile's ongoing mission, the One Child, One Bed campaign. To achieve this, they're raising funds annually to provide new beds for children and teenagers facing poverty, natural disasters, or conditions of vulnerability. ADRA Chile remains dedicated to ensuring that every child and teenager has a safe and comfortable place to rest, emphasizing that every bed matters.
For donations or volunteering in any ADRA project worldwide, connect with the agency nearest you. In February 2025, 3 years of conflict in Ukraine will come to a close. Since the beginning of this new reality imposed by Russia, the need for support has been constant. Despite the political issues, ADRA and its international partners have been active since the beginning, providing practical assistance and solutions that help rebuild the lives of millions of people in the affected communities.
2 excruciating years ago, we faced the new reality. The reality where the full-scale war has brought a great deal of uncertainty, a lot of pain, and many needs for support.
I came, opened the door, cried, because there was nothing. I sat right on the doorstep, screamed, and cried. What can I do? Who will help me? I had this feeling of great fear. Where will I live? How will I live? What will happen to me?
During these times of uncertainty, when the area of government-controlled Ukraine territories has significantly reduced and the lives of ordinary people are badly affected by the painful implications of the war, ADRA Ukraine, with the support of these numerous international partners, is here to give hope to those who have lost everything. The work we are doing is not only about providing assistance, but also about showing that the human dignity can be maintained and promoted regardless of the ongoing events.
These products are stored here in special conditions according to donors' requirements. Everything comes here from other warehouses all over Ukraine and on different projects. At the moment, we're working in Kupiansk district and representing ADRA to help people in this region. Also, our volunteer team has recently been enriched with people from other countries, in particular Finland, and has become international.
Over these 2 years, thanks to the support provided by our donors, ADRA Ukraine has been at the forefront of advocating dignity and saving human lives. Our volunteers have become invisible heroes during this time of great challenge.
Honestly, like you hear, it's I don't think many people understand how it is to live under the influence of war. It's so different experiencing this in person than just watching the news. The front line is just there, and we could see the smoke, we could hear the explosions, and after experiencing even a little bit of the hard, cold reality that the people live in here, it's just unbelievable to me that some people just don't care, or they think that they don't need to help, because the war is still going on, and that's why Ukraine needs our strong support.
Thank God that there are people who help us, who are there for us. We have already rebuilt the roof and windows, but there is no ceiling, only beams and the floor, and the house needs a stove and wood to heat it. That is a lot of work.
Thanks to our humanitarian project and many people all over the globe who responded to our call for help, the local population in the eastern part of Ukraine now has access to much needed fuel materials. This has contributed to improvement of the living conditions, since now people can heat their homes despite the lack of resources caused by the armed conflict. Thanks to our cooperation with the governmental agencies and humanitarian organizations in 35 countries worldwide, over 2,600,000 people have already received support. Still, despite such a significant progress, the situation is still challenging, and there is a great need for further support of Ukrainians dealing with the implications of the war on the daily basis. Over 17% of Ukrainian territories are now non-government controlled. This area is larger than the territory of Czech Republic or Austria. Yet, people continue to sow their fields, risking their lives without even knowing if there will be a harvest.
There's such a compassion and solidarity inside of me that it just drives me. And it's also very inspiring to see the unity that the Ukrainian people have, the strength that they have. They are just fighting the situation that they are in. It's inspiring. I want to be, at least trying to be as cool person as any Ukrainian.
International support of Ukraine is crucial to stop the potential crisis in Europe. Provision of financial assistance and other forms of humanitarian aid is a decisive factor to determine the future of both Ukraine in particular and the whole civilized world in general. We have been here since the very beginning. We are still here to serve.
Support for Ukraine is vital to ensure that communities can recover. Let's continue to support ADRA and pray for an end to this conflict. Coming up, we'll take you on a journey with a group of dedicated individuals who joined forces to build a church for their community. You'll see how they tackled obstacles and pulled together to make their vision a reality.
It's been 10 years since we've been gathering here as a group in each other's homes, in houses. Well, the gospel touched the heart of all of us here as a group, as a family. And we have seen the need that here in San Fabian, we have to try to share the word of the Lord.
And our biggest concern, if we can gather, is to have our temple in order to work in the community of San Fabian, where there is no Adventist church. We are here, but the place where we are is wonderful. We are in front of the square where we can work with all the children and the family itself, bringing the children, the parents accompany them. Evangelize the youth in order to reach them and do workshops on healthy eating for this community.
That was the group that made the efforts to be able to buy the association, the land. And from there, it has been quite difficult for us, to be honest, to build it up. But thanks to the Lord, the brothers have also made a commitment. We are making an offering directed towards the construction of churches, and with that, we have managed to build this.
Trying to do things in a better way, trying to give the support that this project deserves, and well, with all the faith in God. And the goal is to bring more people to the church, because that is the real goal for us.
And that's how faith and teamwork turn dreams into reality. Truly inspiring. Let's see how the Sanitarium group from the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Australia transforms lives with health solutions. From reliable cereals to social programs, they are leading the way to a better life.
Changing lives every day through whole person health is the purpose of the Sanitarium Health and Wellbeing Group. Sanitarium Weet-Bix is Australia and New Zealand's most trusted breakfast cereal, and with Sanitarium Up and Go, they lead the breakfast category. Sanitarium has a deep social commitment, illustrated by Breakfast at School and the world's largest kids triathlon event. With its mission of Christianity in action, Sydney Adventist Hospital is transforming lives by caring for the whole person, their physical, mental, and spiritual needs. The SAN is known for its state-of-the-art technology and patient-focused care, with a world-class reputation in cancer treatment.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church and its institutions, following the example of Christ, provide both physical and spiritual care, bringing health and salvation to people around the world. This has been the latest retrospective episode of ANN, featuring stories from the Seventh-day Adventist Church worldwide. Present in over 200 countries, the denomination seeks to be the hands and feet of Christ through its members, leaders, administrative headquarters, institutions, and support ministries. You can access other good news by joining the official channels of the Seventh-day Adventist Church on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and also on the ANN website, adventist.news. Share your faith journey and submit prayer requests on our channels. Our team is committed to praying for you 24/7. Before I say goodbye, I leave you with the inspiring words from the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Study the Bible daily to discover other wonderful promises of hope. God willing, we will meet in the next edition of ANN. God bless you. Take care.